Welcome to Braskem's IT PMO presentation. Let's find out how our PMO has transformed value creation for our business.
Welcome to one of the largest centers for business and opportunities in the world. São Paulo, Brazil. The entry port for great global investments. If it were a country, São Paulo would be the fourth largest in Latin America, only behind Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia. In 2019, its GDP growth was twice that of Brazil, with the second largest growth in Latin America. São Paulo connects production, quality, productivity, infrastructure, opportunities, and much more. Roads, ports, airports. São Paulo connects science, technology, and business. It's the third economy in the world that most generates unicorns. São Paulo connects world financial and capital markets. Its industry represents 32% of Brazil's industrial production, creating investment opportunities in all sectors. São Paulo is the global leader in the exports of sugar, ethanol, and orange juice. With research and respect for the environment, its agribusiness is one of the most developed, productive, and sustainable on the planet. The state government's innovative management connects development, sustainability, and good governance practice. Its human capital connects confidence and growth capacity. São Paulo is the fourth largest consumer market in Latin America, and it is one of the largest global hubs for commerce, services, gastronomy, and creative economy. São Paulo is a center for great world sporting events. And it is the second most desired tourist destination in the international market. São Paulo, connecting Brazil to the world. São Paulo state government in Brazil.
Braskem is a chemicals and plastics multinational. We have 41 industrial facilities in Europe and the Americas, as well as commercial offices in Asia. We export to over 100 countries. We are still a young company, but we have undergone a major transformation with support from over 8,000 team members.
We are a young company, but with a remarkable story of growth, development, innovation, and accomplishment.
Nesses 17 anos, mostramos que nossa paixão por transformar move o mundo e o prepara para ser lugar melhor a cada dia.
Es sind erst 17 Jahre und dennoch haben wir bereits so viele Geschichten zu erzählen.
Inventamos el plástico verde
e levamos ele para a realização da impressão em 3D no espaço.
We developed the first bio-based solvent.
Wir sponsern und unterstützen den Behindertensport.
Acreditamos que a química e o plástico melhoram a vida das pessoas.
We support all ways of thinking, including Beyond Frontiers.
Realizamos importantes proyectos de postconsumo y reciclado del plástico, contribuyendo a una vida más sostenible.
Entramos em campo no futebol americano.
Wir haben die Arbeitsweise verändert.
Somos protagonistas.
Cocriamos nossas ideias.
Desafiamos e somos desafiados.
Wir gestalten unseren eigenen Weg.
Podemos ser nosotros mismos.
Crescemos juntos. Temos orgulho do que fazemos. 17 years of passion for transforming.
Now you know who we are, let's have a look at our PMO journey. The Projects Office was created in 2012 to define a project management baseline focusing on project controls and team coordination, thus creating an area specializing in IT projects, which is separate from the corporate PMO organization. The PMO was consolidated in 2013 to include portfolio controls and methodology standardization. In 2014 and 2015, work concentrated on globalizing the PMO by unifying our governance tools. Later, in 2016 and 2017, we linked our strategic business and strategic technology plans, which were backed by new investment controls, based on which we developed 4 verticals we would focus on in our subsequent evolution. Now we were more closely integrated with the business strategy. We also wanted to increase PMO visibility. Looking at the feedback we were receiving, we discovered the business still saw us as solution providers rather than business partners. We started to assess the project office's maturity, based on which we established 4 new work priorities: promoting our methodology, managing documentation, developing tools and systems, and auditing project. This kicked off a new strategic focus on digital transformation. This meant we needed to disrupt the project office's existing approach. We started to ask ourselves if we really needed to change, how we could drive this change, and what changes we really needed. The answer was loud and clear: yes, we needed to change. We wanted a more proactive PMO model and broader partnerships with our in-house and external clients in IT and across the business. We wanted a projects office specifically adapted to the business, and this meant we needed agility. So we switched from a traditional centralized model to a new collaborative and more proactive one. Where it all began. Enjoy this journey. It is fairly obvious how seriously the company took this transformation. It wasn't easy, but we had to stay focused on the future. We needed to deconstruct everything we knew, change our approach and our goals, and concentrate on medium and long-term sustainability. We mapped 8 transformation opportunities. We needed to improve the team's organization and change the silo mentality because we were not creating much cross-team synergy. We were also using a highly operational governance model, which meant we had a lot of methodology, but just average results. We needed to get better at managing conflicts that came from asking whether a particular demand was actually necessary. This also meant changing our command and control mindset to give the team a feeling of real project ownership. We also needed to rebuild trust with our clients and focus on value creation. This meant reviewing our practices and controls and making them more effective. We also needed to improve visibility and transparency for project deliverables and feedback from the business. Finally, we needed to be able to continuously improve the processes we had decided to put in place. As the first step in disrupting the traditional projects office model, we agreed our mission was to support the company's digital transformation, which meant building a new operational model and encouraging innovation while keeping a tight focus on the business. We built a new vision. We wanted to be a projects office that stood out from our competitors. And we redefined our values, which are now commitment, protagonism, respect, responsibility, communication, transparency, and continuous improvement. We realized that we needed to leave behind our centralized PMO model and create a new, more specialized one. Like an atom with electrons circling a nucleus, we set up 4 projects offices focusing on different competencies: PMO Business Solutions, PMO Project Delivery, PMO Governance, and PMO Operations. All of the information generated by each PMO would be the nucleus, giving us the visibility we needed throughout the operation, right up to C-level. We started centralizing information, so our decisions would be more data-driven and collaborative, avoiding the centralization that comes with a rigid hierarchy. We identified 4 disciplines where we needed change to support our digital transformation: people, processes and governance, foundations, and business management. In the people discipline, we revisited the organizational structures to link individual skills with each PMO's expected deliverables. In processes and governance, which already focused on methodology, we also began focusing on, for example, the practices that listed companies committed to following the Sarbanes-Oxley Act are expected to adopt. To improve our foundations, we revisited the way we prioritized projects to focus on those that would offer most support for the company's business transformation. Finally, we increased engagement by changing the way the business looked at what each PMO had to offer. We began implementing a non-standard industry portfolio. Based on Gartner's recommendations, we took a deep dive into optimization, productivity, and innovation. In our view, we knew what we had to do and what we wanted to do in terms of optimization. The same applied to productivity, but in this case, we wanted to do something different. In terms of innovation, although we knew what we wanted, we didn't know exactly what we had to do, and we needed processes that would give us the opportunity to test different scenarios. In practice, we tied the new PMO structure to a new investment strategy based on the Gartner model, with an investment portfolio split into records, differentiation, and innovation. We also redistributed roles and responsibilities across the strategic, tactical, and operational layers. For Business Solutions PMO, innovation is a strategic priority. This PMO also operates in the tactical and operational layers for innovation and differentiation. The Project Delivery PMO prioritizes records across every layer. However, it also contributes to differentiation at the strategic level and helps make innovation deliverables more tangible. The Project Delivery PMO prioritizes records across every layer. However, it contributes to differentiation at the strategic level and helps make innovation deliverables more tangible. The governance PMO plays a crossover role in all the records and differentiation layers, but it is limited to the operational layer in innovation, giving us the flexibility we need to experiment. Finally, the operations PMO works at the tactical and operational layers in records and is present at every level in differentiation, but is also limited to the operational layer in innovation, scaling up prototypes or minimum viable products. This structure falls under the wing of the Digital Technology and Investments VP, an information technology area that distributes the functions we described across our head office and our global offices in the US, Mexico, and Europe. We have a global projects office team based in Germany, the US, Mexico, and Brazil, and there is transparency, visibility, and constant communication between every country. This has been our PMO journey. Now we are going to look at the mix of services the projects offices deliver to the company. 23 of our services coincide with the 26 services listed as those most commonly provided by a PMO in a more traditional, well-known model like the PMO value ring. We believe 3 of these services do not offer our company strategic value, but we have been flexible enough to include another 2 services that fit into our model. These services are offered to internal clients like IT and our external client, which is the business. This gives us a 360-degree view of our deliverables and transparent information sharing. The services we provide to our internal and external clients are mainly dictated by the value chain. In order to identify our portfolio, we built a model that is not limited to strategic recommendations, but which is present across all tactical and operational layers and collates information that contributes to strategic decision-making. This means priority agendas decided with the company board are supplemented with the results from regular management and coordinator work groups, as well as outcomes from business forums, validating the real need for each demand. Using this model, we have pursued over 410 demand survey agendas over the past 2 years and obtained a business satisfaction feedback ranking of 4.4 out of 5. After the work groups, business forums and strategic addendas have identified demands, we start assessing priorities. Here, we decided that every project needs to prove the value it generates or the benefits it captures. This means we can focus on demands that create more value or offer greater benefits and discontinue or revise those offering less value. Proof of value can be obtained from an MVP or minimum viable product or from a business case. This basically means we listen to the business while constantly asking whether each request generates the value necessary for the company's strategy. In this example, which is based on the logistics value chain, we assessed ongoing, finished and upcoming projects and divided them into 3 waves. Passing from one wave to the next, we need to reassess the value each demand generates to ensure we are accompanying changes to the business and to determine whether a demand supports the company's strategy. This process is supported by the 25 PMO services. Decentralization means improved service quality depending on the individual level of specialization, which is also linked with the people and the processes and governance areas. We mentioned earlier that we included 2 specific services that make sense for our business. They are CapEx and OpEx management, which strengthens our position within the company's investment strategy, and third-party and contract management, which makes sure our partners can change alongside us, evolving and increasing their ability to sustainably support our transformation. We also have foundations and business engagement dimensions. We have also been able to streamline controls and standardization for critical services, attributing ownership to specific PMOs and building additional flexibility into other services that we have specific delivery requirements for. This has made the nucleus of shared information more robust, giving our clients the transparency and visibility they want. So we have shown how we maximize the potential in our mix of services. Now, let's look at how best practices fit in with all of this. In addition to the traditional project management practices, such as the recommendations in PMBOK, in a Scrum framework, or in COBIT governance, we created practices that could be linked to our structure and applied across the strategic, tactical, and operational layers. This taught us the importance of information continuity between layers. For example, the Portfolio Strategic Investment Committee dictates the direction the Tactical Projects Committee will take when assessing business cases. Similarly, business case assessment provides information that helps support decision taken by change management operational forums, ensuring that we are able to operationally capture the planned strategic value during project deliveries. Supporting this, we have our work tools, prioritizing those that focus more on collaborative efforts such as CAP workflow, information sharing such as Power BI, and practice standardization such as the project online. We are currently revisiting the practices we apply to the feedback collected from project stakeholder satisfaction surveys, which helps ensure we apply continuous improvements. We also assess our partners to ensure they are in a position to continue growing alongside our company. We also request feedback on all technology deliverables, which includes projects. These were the specific practices we created for our business. We will now look at how we have innovated compared with our competitors in terms of generating value for the business. In terms of innovation, we are very proud of the initiatives the Projects Office has developed. One of the highlights is the PMO Pride, a system of best practices for cloud development, which has been able to provide all levels of the organization with transparent, mobile, and reliable information. All of the strategy behind these concepts and the way it was put into practice has been consolidated into a single landscape, which helps to guide the work being done by all of the teams. This gives us the ability to visualize a demand's life cycle from training to operation, independent of the type of demand involved. The landscape unifies communications between all of the PMOs and allows teams to share controls and tools. It also helps us identify when we need to respect the specific characteristics of each PMO, depending on the individual circumstances involved. The following video will illustrate how this works in practice. We can identify 5 main benefits this landscape offers us. We have a detailed view of the entire demand lifecycle with complete traceability of the way the process has evolved. It provides unified communications between teams. Decisions are based on data analysis and reliable information. It minimizes the operational time spent setting up presentations and controls, and it guarantees mobile, real-time access to project indicators. Overall, the main benefits have been agility, transparency, and unified communications, which have helped improve the decision-making process. We have just seen how innovation can be acquired by a structured, united, trained, and motivated team. We will now look at how we adopted a challenging model that was capable of adapting to cultural differences, but was still able to address our strategy and incorporate our processes. Using the same approach we applied to our processes, we also needed to build a structured approach to looking after our community. We decided to implement 3 main people development models: opportunities to exchange experiences at summits and meetings via presentations and lessons learned, giving the teams global exposure; rotation between areas, both internally within IT and between the business and IT. This meant each individual would have an opportunity to use their know-how to help other areas grow alongside our PMOs. We also encourage professional development, promoting protectionism and team engagement, and we invest consistently in people who show a desire to build a career in project management. It is important to ensure that efforts to build engagement across the project management community are properly structured. At Braskem, we have developed an annual strategic plan we apply globally. We initially focused on the management team to ensure our leaders were ready to support development throughout the year. Progress was facilitated using quarterly events which focused on the business and its team members and on practices and lessons learned. Short-term assignments are also planned, which reduces the need for separate knowledge-sharing initiatives. We also organize a series of intermediate events intended to serve specific or urgent requirements, which have also been able to better adapt to particular cultures and local practices. Tools like Teams or Planner have made it easier to access and share information, reducing communication efforts and training requirements. This is one of our IT summits held in Philadelphia in the USA. It was an opportunity to share experiences with every country presenting the way they put standardized practices into operation and to present their innovations, inspiring the other teams to apply them locally. The most gratifying aspect of community events is the relationships people create, as well as the closer ties teams can build, creating additional opportunities for teamwork. Communication is much easier, and the feedback we receive helps us understand whether the office is actually generating value for the community. In terms of professional development, we have adopted a strategy of engagement through knowledge. We assessed all of the major technologies and frameworks available and created several knowledge acquisition pathways. The main differential here is that the user can follow the pathways that make most sense for their own personal development without having a direction imposed on them by the office. We can also analyze the pathways each person takes to determine the areas where they are most interested in. This not only makes professional development much more flexible, it also provides us with information which helps us take more assertive decisions about where we can most productively invest in personal development. We are now arriving at the end of our journey. Now we will look at the value this has generated for Braskem. We now know how to maximize engagement across a complex and widely distributed community using knowledge sharing, rotation between areas, and flexible and analytical professional development. All of this has consistently helped the project office generate the value expected in all of the strategic, tactical, and operational layers across the business. Now we will look at how we capture this value within the company. The next few slides will present everything the PMO helped to build and deliver in 2019, the awards the area won, and the business's perception of the PMO.
I've been working with the IT team since 2013. It was very usual to see project management in a very different way between projects, from the approach used by the IT manager to the set of information we received as a stakeholder. It was very common to find ourselves in a situation where critical decisions for the project were delayed as a result of the lack of visibility, resulting in urgent decisions with very little room to evaluate the situation. Since 2018, clearly IT projects in Braskem went through a significant change. From a business perspective, we have much more information of the progress of the project and its issues, which makes it easier to adjust the plan or reorganize resources if necessary. This increases transparency, guarantees we are all looking at the same goals and indicators, and now IT plays a role not only as an internal support provider, but bringing important events to the project, to the attention of the business executives, and making clear responsibilities and decision points. From a business view, I feel much more comfortable and aware of the situation of the project than I had in previous years, both from a development and a budget perspective. And now, thanks to our PMO structure, we can forecast the deviations before they're actually critical, giving time for the executives to evaluate and make it possible to arrive at an informed and optimal decision.
De janeiro de 2018, a gente começou a implementação de um grande projeto aqui na Braskem chamado Revolution OTC, que a gente fez a revisão de todo o fluxo Order to Cash. E aí a gente teve o Go Live do projeto em outubro de 2019. Então era um projeto com um escopo enorme, onde a gente começou com um PMO dentro do projeto, e o projeto foi evoluindo até a gente ter 3 PMO em determinado momento, dada a necessidade de acompanhamento de uma série de atividades. Nesse período foi notório a mudança de gestão que a gente teve dentro do projeto, né? Então, o maior controle das microatividades para garantir que o Go Live acontecesse, o controle a gestão à vista de todas as atividades que a gente tinha, com o papel tanto da consultoria que apoiou o projeto, quanto com as interfaces internas da Braskem, tanto de TI quanto do negócio. E um controle geral, né, que a gente tinha relatórios para a alta liderança da Braskem 2 vezes por semana para mostrar, né, o acompanhamento do projeto, a gestão, dado o impacto que esse projeto tinha dentro da Braskem. Então, nesse período eu pude ver a evolução que a gente teve na gestão do projeto, o que garantiu o sucesso, a qualidade, tanto do Go Live técnico quanto de gestão de mudança, que aconteceu em outubro de 2019.
We will continue to evolve and change through either planning or experimentation, getting things right and wrong as our journey continues into the future. Future challenges for the Braskem PMO include developing data-driven decision-making processes and implementing machine learning and artificial intelligence, while also ensuring we are prepared for any new technologies the future brings.
Hello everyone, I'm Fernando Riccardi. First of all, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to participate in this award with other excellent PMOs professionals. I hope you enjoy our journey of transformation and the model that we defined and work with here at Braskem. We are very proud of what we have done and are doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you from the Braskem PMO team for taking the time to find out a little bit more about our journey.